141 pounds, man, I love this weight class. To me, it is one of the deepest weights in the country. There's so many guys that I think could make deep runs at this weight class, a few sleepers. And this is one where round two and even in round one, we're going to see some extremely high-level matchups. We're going to see All-American versus All-American in round one. That's how deep this weight class is. And while it is really deep, it does feel like there is a set tier, a pecking order that's going to be tough for that group of really talented guys to break through. And so who do I have winning this weight? So in this video, I'm going to talk about who I think is going to win this weight. Who are going to be the All-Americans? Who are the sleepers, the dark horses that could go on runs? And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to get into. So for this one, 141, my champion, I'm going with Bo Bartlett. Now, he's the 2 seed. I just saw him lose to Jesse Mendes in the Big Ten Finals, and that's actually who I think he's going to wrestle in the NCAA Finals. But I think it's going to go a little differently. I'll get into that in a bit. Let me work my way backwards. So for Bo Bartlett getting the 2 seed, not the most ideal draw when in round 2, he's very likely looking at Cole Matthews. Now, everyone kind of knows the deal with Cole. He's in a lot of matches. Now, he started the season and was not very good, just to put it, just to be blunt. It was not wrestling like we'd seen Cole Matthews. He was losing to a number of unranked wrestlers, and you're like, is this guy going to be an NCAA qualifier? Then he beats Jesse Mendes, our top seed in the country. And he starts to knock off some of the tougher ACC guys. Like, all right, Cole Matthews is back. Well, that's who Bo Bartlett is going to have in the second round of NCAAs, potentially. Obviously, they have to win their matches, but that's my prediction. And what do we know about Bo Bartlett versus Cole Matthews? Well, 1 year ago, Cole Matthews had Bo dead to rights. It was a tiebreaker match, and Bo was down on riding time and had to get a takedown in tiebreakers. And if you watch a lot of wrestling, you know how rare it is to get those takedowns in tiebreakers in that little 30-second period. But that's what Bo was able to do. He was able to run him down. He got an exchange. He made a flurry happen. He got the score late, and he took out Cole Matthews. So Bo was that close to losing to him a year ago. But is Matthews better from a year ago? I'm not sure. Is Bo Bartlett better? Feels pretty certain he's better. So all that being said, I think Bo wins that match. And then I think it's Cale Happel is his next opponent. I think Cale Happel takes out Taggin Jamison. That's a coin flip match in my mind. That could go either way. Taggin's had a great freshman campaign for the Cowboys. I'm going Happel here, and I'm going Bartlett over Happel, which sets up another meeting between Bo Bartlett and Iowa's Real Woods. Now, Real got the 3 seed, Bo got the 2, but I really like Real Woods' draw, except for the fact that almost sort of a similar situation. He has Clay Carlson in round 1. Now, Clay Carlson is the 30 seed, so you say, well, what does that really matter? I mean, it's Real Woods. Well, if you don't know, Clay Carlson is a multiple All-American for South Dakota State, and he is someone who Real Woods lost to at NCAAs in 2021. I believe it was the round of 12 he lost to him. If not that, it was like a quarterfinal match. But either way, it was a match that determined All-American honors, and Clay Carlson was able to beat him. Now, Clay has not had this. He's the 30 seed. So obviously his season has not been what Coach Hahn and the Jackrabbits maybe thought it was going to be. But he qualified, he made it, and this is not going to be a blowout match for Real Woods. I would be really surprised to see this be a bonus point victory for Real. As good as he is, this is a tough first round. Then I think he'll have Jesse Vasquez or Malik Hines, and then I think he has a rematch with Lachlan McNeil in the quarterfinal. Lachlan is someone he wrestled at the Soldier Salute. He beat him. It was pretty convincing and impressive, and Lachlan's had a fine season. I think he's a solid All-American candidate, but he didn't look like he's ready to beat Real Woods, and I don't think he will be here. So it's a Real Woods-Bo Bartlett matchup, and last time these two wrestled, it was at Carver Hawkeye Arena. It was all Bo Bartlett in this meeting. I think it's going to be a closer match. I think a little more calculated. We know with Bo Bartlett, he's going to keep it tight, right? He's not going to – big part of his game is not being in risky situations where he can get countered or scored on. He wrestles within himself, and it works well for him. And I think that's why he's going to win this match again. I feel like Real Woods is not quite the guy he was a year ago when he went undefeated to the NCAA Finals before dropping a tight one to Andrew Alirez. So I got Bo winning that one. Let's go to the top half. I got Jesse Mendes making the final. I mentioned that. If you're wondering, I think there's a lot of guys with the absolute ability to punch through and make it interesting against Jesse. One is that Anthony Etchemandia from Iowa State. This dude is so good on his feet. He's so dynamic. He can fire legs. He can go upper body. He's tough to get to. And while his path is not the best, like he's going to have Josh Edmond or Wyatt Henson round 2. That's a tough, close matchup. And then Ryan Jack in the quarter. I have him beating, slight upset over Ryan Jack to make that semi. For Ryan Jack, he's got to beat Jordan Titus or Tom Crook in his second match. And that's just what I'm talking about. Both those, Crook and Titus, are really tough. That's a coin flip, All-American, almost All-American caliber type of match in round 1. And one of them is going to drop into the wrestlebacks after their first match. It's that deep. And I think Jack beats Titus, and he obviously can beat Etchemandia. I kind of disagree with Kozak. Kozak thinks it's actually a really good matchup for Jack. I think it's a better matchup for Etchemandia. We'll find out. And then this 8-9 matchup, Brock Hardy, Sergio Limley. I'm so impressed with this kid from Michigan, Sergio Limley. True freshman. He's in every single match. He can go with everyone in the country. I think he beats Brock Hardy here. I think he wins that match. He won it at Big Tens after losing in the duel. And that sets up a Mendes-Limley match. I think this one's going to be a brawl, a fight, a scrap. Really tight one. But Mendes, look what he just did at Big Tens. He beat Bo Bartlett. He beat Real Woods back-to-back matches. And his physicality is really standing out at 141 pounds. So I've got Mendes winning this one. And you know what? And I haven't beaten Etchemandia in what I think is probably be a one takedown match. But I think Mendes, 7 minutes, that's a tough thing to contend with. And don't forget how tough he is from the top position. And that could rear itself, especially against Etchemandia, who is still learning all the nuances of getting away from the elite riders. And there's a chance he just takes neutral against Jesse, which, as we know, is an advantage. And Etchemandia taking neutral against Mendes is like, well, that's his best position, but that's Mendes' best position too. So you're not necessarily going into an area of strength. You're just avoiding an area of weakness, right? There's a difference there. So I think Mendes makes that final, loses to Bo Bartlett. I think it was a close match. It was a late exchange. And I think, you go with track record. You go with Penn State's track record. And in those tight matches where it's a one adjustment here, adjustment there, I think Bo can make it. But you're crazy if you don't think this is a coin flip match. And you're crazy. I'm not writing off Jesse Mendes here. I'm not writing off anyone. I'm not writing off Cole Matthews. I'm not writing off Real Woods. But I think the odds are in Bo Bartlett's favor. So I have him bringing home a national title to Penn State. So on the backside, I have Real Woods coming back for third, beating Brock Hardy. I have Hardy beating Etchemandia in that consolation semifinal. And I have Real taking out Sergio Limley. I mean, these are fire matches. These are NCAA semi-caliber bouts that are going to be wrestled on the backside. Limley versus Woods is going to be a war. Both those guys. So tough. Looking at the round of 12, I've got Ryan Jack taking out Cole Matthews. We know that could go either way. And now look at this round before match. You've got Cole Matthews versus Taggin Jamison. I have Matthews winning, but who really knows? That could be Taggin there, and it could be Taggin in the round of 12. That's not a surprise. That's just how deep this weight class is. I have Coder Hant falling to Tom Crook. So Crook makes the round of 12, but he's going to lose to Sergio Limley on my paper here. And I have Cale Happel taking out Jordan Titus, also in the round of 12. And then I have Hardy taking out Lachlan McNeil. Tough draw for Lachlan McNeil. He's going to, if he loses his quarterfinal match, he's going to drop into the path of the 8-9 loser, which is either going to be, in my opinion, Brock Hardy or Sergio Limley. So that's going to be a really tricky round of 12 quarterfinal or round 2 loss combo there. If you're looking at your brackets, someone's going to have a really tough, because this weight with the 8-9, those guys are so good. So then I have Hardy beating Happel to make the consolation semi. Etchemandia beating Limley for 5th. And I have Jack beating Happel for 7th. So that's 141 pounds. As you can tell, I have a really high opinion of this weight class. I mean, look at here, the second round consolation. Jordan Titus versus Clay Carlson. Josh Edmond versus Vance Vombar. Someone as great as Brock Hardy, if he loses to Limley, he's in the second round of consolations. He's got a long road back. So anytime you expose yourself to that many different matches and the level so high, you could see really tough guys like a Brock Hardy, like a Cale Happel, like a Taggin Jameson not place. So 141, it's a great weight class. I feel, I just did 133. Now I'm looking at 41. I feel like this one could definitely, these predictions, I feel a lot less confident, and they could definitely get turned on their head.